Hello, I hope I haven't kept you waiting. Yes, this is the Crime Club. I'm the librarian.
So let's start at the beginning. When I was 9 years old, I had a 1969 VW Squareback. It wasn't anything special. Flintstone floors, the top was cut off, so it was a full-time convertible basically. But man, it was awesome. I loved it dearly and drove it all over our 11-acre property at the time. But even before that, what got me really hooked on driving was my slightly lifted golf cart. I ripped it around for years and have countless good stories about it. Stories like why I had to put a roll cage on it involving a big pine tree, which actually ended up being our Christmas tree that year. But anyways, when I was 14 years old and moved to Southern California, I lost the Squareback and the golf cart in the move, but it was totally fine. I upgraded it to a 1971 Baja Bug. It was a project, had long travel, bus transmission, decent roll cage, and a bunch of other good parts, method race wheels, and I don't even need to mention it all. It was a pretty good setup. It was going to be pretty awesome. My dad was working at a coachwork company at the time and brought home a slant nose Porsche 912 shell. This was a few months later, by the way. So we quickly decided that would be much cooler than the 71 Bug. So on a nice Saturday afternoon, we cut my beloved Bug that I'd spent basically every day after school working on into pieces. We kept all the good suspension components, methods, and all the other goods. And my dad traded the Bug body and stuff we didn't want from it for something like tacos for a month or something good like that. So I soon forgot all about the cool dreams of mobbing around the desert and streets in my crazy Baja Bug and replaced those dreams of doing it with my slightly lifted long travel Porsche. During this time, my dad started making a mold of a beautiful pre-September 1957 Porsche 356A body and started building a super cool one. I got to polish and all the engine parts and a bunch of other good parts before it went to a bunch of shows around California at the time. And that 356 was beautiful, far more beautiful than any car I'd worked on before or been inside of or even in a close proximity. I knew someday I would have one and make my own version of the beautiful little car. For years and years, I've been dreaming and thinking about how my 356 would turn out. And when I'd be able to build it to the proper extent it needs to be built. I'm stoked to say that day has come where I build my 57 Porsche Rally Coupe. So I decided to use a 2019 Polaris RZR XP1000 as the platform for my 356. It's got 16 inches in the front and 18 inches of travel in the rear. That's stock. Electronic power steering rack, decently reliable setup all around. I should be able to, or it should be fast enough for where I'm going, and I can do some stuff in the future to maximize the performance side of it. The wheelbase on it is quite similar to the 356 wheelbase, so right out of the box it should be a great candidate for my first 356. I found a real nice one for a great deal from an older fellow. So when I went and traded it for a bunch of crisp Benjamins, and of course I had to do some thorough testing of this platform and see if it'll do the job for what I'm planning on doing with it. I got plenty of testing in, and it will certainly do the job. It was a blast, and I can't wait to tear off this ugly plastic body and start building the new beast. I see inside of all that blue ugly plastic. Luckily my dad hung on to the first body they pulled out of the mold, and it's been collecting dust and a little rust on the tube chassis that my dad had started for it. But finally, it's time to bring this beautiful beast that I've been dreaming about for so long to life. We had mocked it up with VW parts I had left over from my Baja Bug. Since I moved away from California and didn't have the space to bring my sweet 912 along with us. So this helped fuel the dream, and we intended to do it kind of as if Ferdinand made a Rally 356 back in the day, which would be awesome. But we didn't have the funds, space, or time to bring it to life. So it's been living on in my mind, and soon it will actually be living and mobbing around a screen near you. Enjoy.
Waiting to see these two things next to each other for a very long time.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely awesome.
This is crazy. These things are basically the same size.
I think that body's going to fit perfectly on this and give it a lot of personality.
Oh, it's going to have so much attitude.
Yeah.
This